Hey y'all. Welcome to the party, family. We made it back to the tree gang. It feels good to be out here. Feels very active. I'm over here having to squint, sun all in my eyes. And yeah, feels like Monday magic, And yeah, I'm really excited for today's reading. I'm excited for y'all to be here. And I'm just excited in general as winter continues to do its thing as we continue to make our way towards spring, and not even in a rush to get to spring, but as winter just continues to progress and the energies continue to progress, it's just nice. It's been shadowy, it's been cold, it's been restful, it's been everything that winter is. So hell yeah, I'm just excited and I feel very, very aligned in general and right now. So yeah, thank y'all for being here. And yeah, I'm Mark. I always forget, there's new people, there's returning people and all that. So yeah, if you're new here, hey, I'm Mark, I'm your reader, and this is Monday Magic, and you're definitely in for a treat. So yeah, I hope you got all your things ready. You came here with an open mind and an open heart. Hey, I'm early today. Yeah, that tells me I need to do better, because yeah, we started at 1:11 of Eastern time. That's where, and that's always been kind of the goal and the time to be at. So, yeah, and I'm still later than that. So the fact that you say I'm on time is like, damn. But yeah, today was a day of flow and everything was on point. So I was able to get here closer to the regular time, because I know the week before that it was something. The week before that I was trying to get the cards. And then before that, it's just been weird and it's always been something. But yeah, there was no obstacles today, so hell yeah, I'm definitely here when I planned and tried to be, so hell yeah. Welcome, Dream, and yeah, welcome everybody else as well. I just feel really good, like the energy feels really good. I feel very present in it, and yeah, and I feel like the best parts of it are to be felt. Like there's nothing I can even say to kind of express it, but oh yeah, I love y'all and I hope y'all are ready for the magic, man. High key, the iconic jersey. Yeah, facts. It's definitely even more special than I even realized. Yeah, so hell yeah, I'm excited. I'm just excited as hell. And yeah, man. Welcome to the party, Haley. And don't mind me, I'm definitely taking this in. Like, I feel like it hasn't been very sunny down here, even for Florida. I feel like it's been very gray and gloomy and chilly at times and all type of stuff. But today feels like a very Florida day and a very magical Monday. So, but yeah, without further ado, you know how we get things started. And if you're new here, we get started every session, every Monday with our presence practice, which is just to bring us into the present moment, as well as make some room in our cup, as we navigate a lot of energies here, and just to give us the best chance to really be able to contain it all and work with it and really get the most out of everything that comes up today. So our presence practice is breath work, and then right into our body scan. And yeah, for today's breath work, we're just going to do some deep belly breathing. Inhale through the nose all the way to the belly. Hold. Super slow exhale. At least slower than, or at least allow it to be longer than your inhale was, which is to promote relaxation. And yeah, it really sends the message to your nervous system that you're safe and that you can relax and really come into the present moment. And yeah, there's no reason to be in fight or flight or be on edge or be hyper aware, alert of your environment, because you're safe. So it's very important to me and a very important part of Monday Magic in general. So, oh yeah, I'm definitely got the legs out, which feels weird as well. But hey, we rolling. But yeah, I'm very, very grateful as the sun continues to peek through these trees and I have to squint. Yeah, it's nice. And that's a big reason why I made it a point to I got to get back to the tree. For all the people, all my Monday magicians who aren't as lucky and as blessed to be able to come outside and sit here and do this, So I'm holding down for y'all. And I hope the warmth and all that energy is felt through, the messages as well as through, the screen and everything else. So, hell yeah, it's an honor to be here. Truly, truly, in every sense. But y'all are trying to be discursive. Y'all are trying to distract me so we don't got to do our presence practice. I'm on to y'all. Y'all know how low. But yeah, that being said, it's time. Go ahead and introduce some movement into your body. I feel like I haven't been able to hit my wave in a minute. The bottom bunk is a little less roomy, a little less expansive. So don't mind me as I get acclimated to, my old friend. And hey, Tree, my bad. I didn't even acknowledge you at all. Hey, baby, it's been a minute. I see the leaves that were right here that always poke me in my hair. Oh no. But yeah, they're all withered and stuff in winter fashion. So yeah, but that also means I get to be extra cuddled and close today without getting my hair pulled. So, it's okay. But hey, my bad, baby. I just got right in and got to business. But yeah, presence practice. Go ahead and introduce some movement into your body again. My bad, y'all. Get the flow going. Do your best tree impression if you can. Ooh. And then yeah, when you're ready, just go ahead and close your eyes, lovingly and slowly, as always. And yeah, before we get started, go ahead and express a little gratitude to yourself, to your environment, to all that is, honestly, whether it be out loud, energetically, or in your mind, whatever feels right. Thank you. Ooh. All right, let's get going with our breath work. Remember, deep inhale all the way to the bottom of the belly. Hold. Slow exhale out the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good job. I'm gonna do a couple more of those. On the inhale, make sure you're bringing in all that magic, everything you want to bring in for yourself, all the progressive energies that lend itself to your highest timeline and unfoldment. Go ahead and inhale and soak all those up. And on the exhale, go ahead and release whatever energy doesn't serve you anymore. Any stagnant energy, any energy that belongs to past versions of you, all that. Go ahead and allow that to release. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, y'all. Inhale. Exhale. Hell yeah. Go ahead and introduce a little movement into your body again. Get a little rock going. you're good, just go ahead and return to center, and we'll get right into our body scan. And for our body scan, I'm just going to call out different parts of the body, different areas, and you're just going to place your awareness there. Don't think about what you may notice there. Don't judge it. Don't question how long, that's been there. If you do notice any stuck energy or anything like that, just go ahead, and if you do notice anything, use your awareness to lovingly release it and allow the energy to move and continue with your presence. Because remember, presence is the name of the game, so don't get lost to any one particular area. Just notice. All right, we're going to start at the top of the head. Then we're going to go to the forehead. Then your ears. Your eyes. The back of the head. Your nose. Your cheeks. Your mouth. Your chin. Your neck. And if my environment's really, really loud, just accept it as part of the practice, and allow yourself to remain mindful, remain aware and present. Go ahead and go down to your neck. Shoulders. Chest. Your back, upper and lower. Your arms. Your stomach. Your waist. Your butt. And if you're sitting or laying down, pay special attention to where your body meets the surface that you're sitting or laying on. And just really pay special attention to the support that's there. And bonus points if you express a little gratitude. Thank you. And we're going to go to our hips. Then come around to our pelvic area. Next, go ahead and check in with your hands. And if they're not already, go ahead and turn your palms up. And pay special attention to the energy that's present in your hands. If you stay still enough and soften your awareness enough, you can actually feel the vibrations. Very, very, very subtle, but very present. Then we're going to work our way to our upper legs, our thighs, hamstrings. Then your knees. Then your lower legs, your calves, your shins. Then your ankles. Then your feet. And last but not least, your toes. And go ahead and give them a little wiggle. And go ahead and introduce movement back into your body. Come back into your environment. Notice any sounds that may be present around you. Also not judging them or thinking too hard about them, but just noticing. And before we end our presence practice, if you can, go ahead and place your hands on your heart, left and then your right over your left. And just be present with your heart for a second. Feel that rhythm. And then we're going to take one deep breath right into our heart. And then exhale as slow as you can. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Slow exhale, as slow as you can. Don't force it at all, just really just allow it the air to leave, like letting air out of a balloon. But here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Hell yeah. Yeah, when you're ready, you can go ahead and drop your arms, put them back where they were, and open your eyes whenever you're ready, slowly and lovingly. Hey. Whew. That was nice. Thank y'all. How y'all feeling? Definitely take special note of how you feel now versus before we started the practice. Yeah, me personally, things feel more quiet, more still. Colors are brighter, more vivid. Hell yeah. I'm ready for the magic, man. Already in it, but more. I want more. But hey, it's time. Tarot time. Tarot time. I was just about to ask, should we start with tarot or oracle? But it's like my hands are already all over these cards, so I guess the decision was already made. Yeah, I never really say this, but I'm feeling called to say it now. If there's anything that you want to come up, or any questions that you have, or any intentions that that you have for this session, hold it in your mind, especially as I begin to shuffle and get up. Wow, on the split, the Fool. And it's like, yeah, it definitely feels like that type of day, those type of vibes right now. So yeah, if you have an intention or anything you want to know, or anything you're curious about, or anything that's just been in your energy, yeah, go ahead and hold it in your mind as we get our first card out. And trust that, and then let it go, and trust that it will surface, and that you will get the answer to your question. It will get addressed some way, somehow, before we end this session. So, we got action, but I'm gonna keep going. Give y'all some time to set your intentions. Yeah, the cards feel very, very active today. This tree is very, very active too. I feel like every 2 seconds I'm hearing something come down. Well, definitely got to tuck the hair. Wow. I can see. All right. Showtime. High Priestess on the bottom. Inner world, heavy emphasis on our inner world right now. Feels like, yeah, the messages are coming from inside the house, which they typically do, but seem like extra so today. Ooh. But first things first, what came out as soon as I started shuffling was 9 of Pentacles. And this just feels like, I was gonna say waiting, but not necessarily waiting. It feels like the space between. It feels like that very moment in which we're able to detach, and we're finally like, you know what? Where I'm at right now is perfectly fine, Like, there's places I want to be. There's things that I'm striving for. There's things that are unfolding for me, but I'll be there when I need to be. And I'm here right now because there's still things for me to experience here right now. And yeah, it just feels like in that very moment of acceptance and true detachment that, boom, your flying fish comes in, the very magic, the very things that you knew were available to you that, seemed very fleeting. And that seemed like, just when you got close and you tried to grasp it, it disappeared every time, And it's like there's been times where you thought you were detached, but then boom, you find yourself grasping again. It's like, oh, there it is. And it's like, boom, it disappears at that very moment. But it's like now in this space when it's like true detachment, where it's like, you know what? Not that I don't care, or not that, I feel like I have to detach for this to come in, but I'm truly detached. I'm truly okay where I'm at. I'm truly enjoying my present. I'm truly understanding that the present is perfectly fine, just like the future present moments will be perfectly fine. It's in that space and in that very split second that of acceptance and true detachment that, yeah, your flying fish comes in. And it feels like that's where we find ourselves right now, just in that true zero space. And it's like, allow yourself to be light, allow things to be light. Look around and re-engage with your environment, and re-engage with the magic that's around you. Because like I always say, at any given turn, you're in the middle of answered prayers. It might be answered prayers from your 5-year-old self, your 7-year-old self, the self from last week, It may not be an answered prayer of you right now, You might be ready for these next things, but they're still to be honored as, they're proof of your magic. They're proof of you being able to bring these things in for yourself. And yeah, it's just, there's versions of you who would have given everything to be exactly where you are right now, to have access to the very things that you have access to right now, or able to live a life that you casually live right now that you don't even think about. And it's like, there's still gratitude that can be juiced and experienced out of exactly where you are right now. And yeah, it just feels like a call to not just detach from what you're bringing in, but re-engage with where you are right now and really see the magic that is available for you exactly where you're sitting right now and where you find yourself right now. So that's always a nice reminder and always a nice message. Put that back over here. But yeah, and then the 3 cards that came out after that when I continued going was the lovers. And this just feels like, what's the word? The coming together of your shadow self and, I don't want to say your light self, but your shadow self and, yeah, the self that you know to be just you, just on a moment-to-moment basis, just who you are. That's very, very clear. It's like the coming together and the union of that. And that just reminds me of just last night. I don't know if you've noticed, but I came on here and did a stream last night, Sunday Shadows. And it's really like the shadow work equivalent of Monday Magic. And this energy was very present last night as far as just the coming together of the shadow and I don't know what to call it. But yeah, just assimilating your shadow and integrating it into everything else, every other part of you. And yeah, I just feel called to, if you feel called to go check it out. I feel like there's something waiting for you as far as just even the keyhole in the snake's head right here. It feels like there's keys and things waiting to be discovered for you there. As it feels like that's a very important part of this week in general. The coming together of the shadow and the self and really allowing it to be one thing. And that's very important because, yeah, your shadow holds a lot of your magic as well, just like your light does. And if you're only embracing your light while shunning your shadow and refusing to look at it, understand that you're not having full access to the energies of you and to your whole self. And that as you're trying to create a life for yourself that feels 100% you, that's going to take the incorporation of 100% of you, If you're only using 75% of yourself to create your life, you can't expect it to match 100% of you because, there's 25% that you're not accounting for. So yeah, if your shadow is something or your past is something you typically don't look at and, you kind of leave it there because it's hard to look at or because it hurts or because you feel like it's just not useful as far as who you are now. You feel like you're just a whole nother person now. But understand that, yeah, exactly who you are was built on the very back of a lot of those things that you don't want to look at. So it's in your best interest to integrate all of it. And yeah, that's some real potent magic that's being used to keep that stuff at bay and to keep it locked up. So it's like, yeah, free yourself to be all of you and understand that all of you deserves love, and the worst things you've been through deserve even more love, and the versions of you that lived through those things and the fragments of yourself that, that you may have left behind in those experiences, understand that they need you and they're just as deserving of love as every other part of you. So yeah, definitely integration. I just keep hearing integration. That's definitely the name of the game. And hey, what's up, Logan? Welcome to the party, family. And after that, you got Knight of Wands and then Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And this just feels like slow down and stand your ground. Understand that everything is coming in for you right now, and not through force and not through hustle or productivity, but because you've planted a lot of seeds and they've grown and they've sprouted and they're blossoming and everything. And it's like, it's going to be time to harvest soon, but the more you work up against it and try to force it, the further it's going to feel, the more it's going to escape and everything. And it's going to feel very fleeting that way as you continue to try to chase this energy around. Understand that's going to continue to run and you're going to continue to chase it. It's going to be this endless cycle. And it's like right now, it's like, yo, you've done the work, and it's like plant yourself where you are right now. And that doesn't, like I typically say, that doesn't mean just do nothing, throw your hands up and sit back. But it's kind of like engage in these things from a very empowered position, Do what you feel called to do. Show up for these things because you want to show up for them and because, it feels aligned. It feels like where you should be at. And trust that internal guidance of your heart, the internal guidance of the energy inside you, that these things light you up, so you're going to do them, or it feels there's resonance, so you're going to do them. Understand that leads you to the very things that you're looking to cultivate, because the things that you're trying to bring in for yourself feel those ways. They feel inspiring, they feel charged, they feel like flow. So understand that the way to get to those things is through that very energy. You become by being, and lack won't lead to abundance. And waiting won't lead to having. Like hoping and praying won't lead to having. Like it's kind of just like embracing these energies where you are right now. And it's like, if these things were here, you wouldn't be chasing them, you know? So you're continuing chasing them, continuing trying to figure out how to finesse to get them, only really affirms to yourself and to the world around you that you don't have them, you know? Because if you had $1 billion in your bank account, you wouldn't be trying to figure out how to make $20. You wouldn't be trying to figure out how to make $100. You wouldn't be trying to figure out how to make $200 by next week. You'd be showing up for these things and you'd be doing what you feel called to do, knowing that everything is taken care of, knowing that you're gonna have everything you need when you need it and all that, because you know you have all these things you need for nothing. And you don't have to actually have all those things in order to access those energies and access those frequencies. You can access them right now. There's things that make you feel like you need for nothing, you know, whether sometimes it be just a good meal at the right time makes you feel like, wow, like I'm content, like I need nothing right now. And it's like, embrace those things and those things that you have access to right now, to get into those vibrations, and understand that as you get into those vibrations, work with them, you know. Now, once you're in a vibration where you need for nothing, hey, go create something from then. Go work on one of those things that you've been putting off from that energy, you know, and understand that as you work on these things from the energy of, wow, I need for nothing, that the seeds, it will be a seed born of the energy of needing for nothing, and it will grow into a tree and a plant that needs for nothing, and that gives back to you and allows you to need for nothing. And then you know, it becomes this cycle of a beautifully sustainable cycle of I need for nothing. I'm creating this thing from the energy of me needing for nothing. It goes out to the world and other people experience the energy of it needing for nothing. They ground it in, and it all just comes back and continues to flow. And understand that if you're not doing that, you're still doing that very thing. If you're working in desperation, you're working in I should do this, I should do that, or I have to do this. If I don't do this, I won't have that. Understand that that cycle continues and it perpetuates itself, and you will continue to have to move like that. Because even if that works and you get success, as you continue on, you're gonna remember at every turn when you feel like you need to slow down, you're gonna be like, oh man, like, nah, like I remember last time when I kept going even though I didn't want to, like I got some success. And it's like you'll never be free from that cycle until that one day comes where you finally choose to surrender. And it's like you can surrender now, and it's gonna be weird for sure. It's gonna be very, very weird. But that's sustainable, you know? Inspired action and cultivating inspired action and planting inspired seeds and getting the results back. Like that's sustainable. You can do that forever. But force and making things happen, like that'll work for a while until you're tired of doing that, or until, you know, you're burnt out and all those things. Then you'll have to find something new to do, or, you know, then you'll have to sit in that uncomfortable energy then. And it's like, you can do that now. You can embrace this process now, and as much as you can, and understand that that will bring you your fruit, you know? And that's just what this feels like right now. It's like, yo, you see, he's rooted and there's grass, there's growing, like there's things happening around him. It's not just stagnancy. It may look like to the untrained eye from someone looking at him from afar, like, dang, he's just been standing there. But it's like, when you know better, you see like the roots are spreading, there's little grass and little plants growing around, and things are definitely happening. And that's the reality of the situation, and that's what it feels like you're being called to notice right now. And yeah, it just feels like you know that, but at the given turn, once it comes time to make that decision, it's very hard to. And that's reasonable, you know, because especially as by design as it is, you know, you look around and everything says to keep going harder. Productivity is everything. Like if you're not, you know, sleep when you're dead, all those energies that just keep you in a constant state of just chasing and moving and forcing and everything, when it's like the most profound things that have happened to you, I'm willing to bet, happen through flow, you know, not through force. A lot of the biggest blessings you've had kind of just unfolded and also came at the back of you doing what just felt aligned for you to do. You just doing what you showed up to do, what felt like a call in your heart, and, you know, and you showed up and it unfolded into this super magical thing. And that's been my experience, you know, like this is one of the most important things to me at this point. And it's like, this was not a product of force at all. If anything, this came through me choosing myself and choosing to slow down and choosing to just follow the GPS of my heart. in small ways, and that led into big ways, and this continues to unfold into more and more and more blessings and more alignment and more divine timing and just more all the time. And it's like when I find myself trying to fall into forcing things, or like, all right, let me try to, be productive and force it. It's like, yo, like this very thing that I love so much that's at the center of my universe a lot of times now was not born of force. And had I been forcing things, I wouldn't be here. And a lot of the things in my experience that came from Monday Magic and that continue to unfold from this wouldn't be here. So it's like, what more proof do I need, at the very point where the things I even find myself forcing, trying to force this work or trying to force that. And it's like, this work is only born of not forcing. So at what point does the product of flow become the catalyst to force and chasing productivity and chasing numbers and just all that stuff? It's like, how? When it's like, this is only here because of surrender to flow. So yeah, and like when that message comes up here, I definitely make it a point to express it. And like it's the first time every time, because this container is born of that very energy, So when it comes up to express it, I do my best to really try to get it to land and get it to drive it home, because it really is important. And just in my own life, like I say, like it's everything, and it's been everything. So yeah, and I know it's simple. It's definitely simple. Like surrender. Just do what you feel called to do. Just listen to your heart. It's very simple sounding, and it is simple, but it's not easy. And I know that, and that those things are different, It's simple, like it's easily understood. I tell you, just do it. But when it comes time to do it, that decision is not always an easy decision to make, especially, if we've lived a whole life not doing that and not trusting that internal guidance all the time. And then you look around and there's not much validation in doing so either. So, wow, something just flew in my eye. But yeah, so it just feels like, yeah, I understand it's not easy, but hey, it is simple. And like, as much as you can, just lean into it, and it will get easier to do, and you'll get more proof of that, and which will become the foundation for you doing it moving forward. And it becomes easier as, you give so much proof, like, yeah, last time I surrendered, this magical thing happened. Oh yeah, last time I chose surrender over force. Oh wow, I met this beautiful person that's so important to me now. And it's like, all those things become your proof, and it makes it hard to not surrender. And it's like, yo, the proof is in the pudding, the proof is in the process, the proof is in the progress. And yeah, that just feels like the call right now. And then yeah, I look at the bottom. We got 9 of Wands, and then right under that, we got 10 of Wands, and then right under that, you've got 3 of Wands, and then right under that, bear with me, we've got Ace of Cups, and then right under that, you've got Ace of Swords. And then I'll stop there, because under that, we're back to Knight of Wands and Queen of Pentacles, which is the 2 cards we just had out. So it feels like, yeah, 9 of Wands is like, stand your ground. It's like, yo, trust that. And then it's got the heart in the hand, which reminds me of our presence practice, where I felt called to have us hold our heart for a little bit and allow ourselves to be present with it for a second. And it feels like, yo, trust your heart. Like, your heart is, my voice just now, your heart is your guidance. Your heart tells you so much. It's your connection to all, that beat. That heartbeat, your rhythm, your pulse, that's your life force right there. That's the proof that you're alive. That's the proof that you're here. And it talks to you, communicates to you. Like yesterday, I was feeling like damn near lightning in my heart at points in time. And it felt very charged. Like it was like start there and spread through my whole body. And it's like, trust it. Build that connection to your heart, Spend some time every day, just being present with your heart, feeling it, and just building that relationship and that connection to it, because it has so much guidance for you. Just as an energy center, as an organ, like in every dimension, it has a lot for you, for real. So it just feels like, be still and listen to your heart. Cultivate that connection to your heart for a bit. And then right after that, remember 10 of Wands. And it's like, this feels like when it's time to move, you'll know, because you have that connection to your heart, and your heart will tell you. It will tell you it's time to move in very, very plain words and plain energy, in a language that you speak. Speak clearly, where it won't be like, I should do this, or maybe I should do this. It will just be, you'll just be moving in that direction, because it's a call from inside. It's like, yo, I need to go do this thing, or I'm ready to go do this thing. And you just find yourself there. It won't take any force convincing or anything. But it's like right now, be still. Cultivate that connection with your heart. And when it's time to move and gather your wands and take all that energy you've been building up, it'll be time and it'll all be ready for you. And the sticks or the wands in his hand feel so charged. You look at how different they look versus like here. Like they're charged, but they feel lighter to me. They feel like they're vibing, like even they might be charging up. And then here it seems like they're highly charged, like they're damn near fire hot. And it's like, yeah, it's like that's what's happening right now. But it's like you're just being asked to be still and to be still with yourself and to cultivate that connection to yourself in this space right now. And then, yeah, after that came out the Ace of Cups. And it feels like from there, this is an opportunity to pour into your cup, you know? It's like, it feels like an extended presence practice, but like being immersed in presence practice. Like you remember, we do presence practice at the beginning of our sessions to make room in our cup to be able to contain the energy and work with it. And this feels like a call to do the same with your life, you know? Be present, do a body scan, but more so just being present with yourself. And like, how do I feel doing this thing versus that thing? And wow, it feels like a lot of sounds just stopped at once and got really still out here. And yeah, it just feels like an opportunity to build that connection to yourself and be present in yourself, in your reality, and remembering that your reality is projected from the inside out. So if you don't have that connection to your inner world, understand that you're not going to understand the things you're interacting with, the things you come across. You're not going to understand because your inner world colors everything you see and is the lens and your vehicle to navigate all of this. And you're not able to engage with anything outside of the lens of yourself, you know? It's like everything you come into contact with, everything you engage with, you're experiencing through your conditioning, through your upbringing, through the way you see the world, the things you've accepted to be true about the world, the things you assume about the world, like all these things that are very, very you know? And then you get to see them on the outside. So it's like, if you don't understand how you see the world, you don't understand your inner world, you don't understand your connection to it all, or where you sit versus it all, you're not going to truly be able to understand the things that you're engaging with. You're not going to truly be able to, you know, understand your reality. So it's like you have to cultivate that inner connection first. And that just feels like in this stillness, as you kind of sit with your heart and you kind of allow, you know, your heart to lead the way, and you kind of see where you stand in things, regardless of what the outside looks like, then you'll have more room in your cup to then be able to go back and, you know, interact with these things and go out and do what you need to do. And you'll understand it all a lot more. You'll be able to work with it a lot better. And yeah, the results will be more you as you understand yourself better and you're able to put your best foot forward and engage with these things and understand where you start and stop and where your world starts and stops. And that just feels like the opportunity you're being given right now. And it feels like a very, very big opportunity. So allow yourself to be light. I'm being called to this feather hovering above the cup. And it's like, make sure there's room in your cup, and that, yeah, the things that you're giving energy to are aligned to you, and you're not just pouring your energy into things because you have been or because you feel like you have to or anything like that. And then that leads to the Ace of Swords, which was next. And this just feels like another opportunity to cultivate that relationship with your mind, you know, to get your mind in coherence too, as you get your inner world in coherence to who you are and understanding who you are and nurturing that connection to your inner world. It's like next comes the mind in that space. It's like, now it's like, okay, so why, and now it's noticing thoughts that are in alignment to how you feel and who you know yourself to be and where you're trying to go. And also noticing the ones that aren't in alignment to that and figuring out, not necessarily figuring out where they came from or why they're like that, but just being able to notice them and being able to separate yourself. Like I said, where you start and stop and where the world around you starts and stops, where your conditioning starts and stops, where your fear starts and stops, where the beliefs of those around you that you've taken on as your own starts and stops. It's like, that's the next opportunity as you get clear on your heart and who you really are on the inside. You're like, okay, now you can identify, okay, these are programs. These are not who I am. Oh, wow, I don't actually even like this thing. I just been doing it because, I don't know, I felt like I was supposed to do it. And it's like really getting acclimated to that. And I'm also being drawn to how she's barely holding it. Like, she doesn't have a sure grip on it. It seems like she's afraid of it. She doesn't know if those snakes are going to bite her. And it's like, that feels like a lot of people's relationship with their mind, you know, like just the way that people don't even like to sit in silence, or as soon as, you know, it gets silence, the thoughts start going. So now they're like, oh, they're trying to distract themselves. Now they're scrolling, or now they're watching something, or not even being able to sleep without the TV being on, because like the silence is just excruciating, you know, honestly. And it feels like, yeah, this feels like cultivating that relationship to where, you know, you realize that, oh, okay, these snakes are not scary. Like they're all this is for me, you know, they're my snakes. And it's like, these thoughts are me, like even if they're not savory, even if I'm like, damn, like that's a dark thought, or that's a worrisome thought, it's like they're you. And the way to build that relationship to your mind and also allow it to be a place that's safe for you is to build a relationship to it, you know, while being afraid of it and avoiding it and not being willing to, you know, dive down that rabbit hole. It only stays dark, it only stays murky, it only stays a place that is to be feared. And not because it's actually to be feared, but because that's how you're treating it. So it'll continue to be that until you're ready to integrate it and, you know, become one with it. And it feels like that's the next opportunity as you kind of get clear on where you start and stop. It's like, all right, now get that same thing going with your mind and allow it to work for you, and allow it to be clear, and allow it to really lend itself to your journey. And it feels like that's the beginning steps of that. You know, it feels like, okay, before she probably wouldn't even picked up this sword. She'd just been looking at it from a distance. And now it's like, all right, like I'll hold it, but as soon as one of those snakes move funny, I'm dropping it. And it feels like she's ready to do that. But it's like, you know, the next step is to close your fingers around it, you know, and now it's like hold it, and then, you know, maybe you'll wave it a little bit. Now you're looking at it like, like, oh, this sword's kind of cool. Like it fits my hand perfectly, you know, and so you realize it's your sword. It's been made for you. It's specifically tailored for all the needs you have, all the things that you want to do for yourself. It's like, yes, we have programming and conditioning, and there's been an attack on our minds, you know. So it's like there's things that we have to relieve ourselves from and release, and really recultivate that connection with ourselves, with our mind and all that, and allow it to work for us and allow it to work and function as it should. And it's like that's the next opportunity. And that remember, all this comes from being still right now, you know. Because as you continue to run the fear programming, you're not able to see it. As you continue to run the productivity programming and all these conditionings that are on us, you're not going to be able to separate yourself from them as you're running them, you know? And I'm being called to as a computer, like the computer, when like if you try to eject the USB disk, but you have something open, it won't even let you. It's like, you tried to eject it, but you know, there's a program using this device, the storage. Like if you open up something that's on the USB, but then you try to eject the USB while it's open, how it doesn't let you. It's like, oh no, you have to close everything that's using it before you can take it out. And it's like that feels like what this is. It's like, as long as you're running the fear programming, you're allowing it to run, you're not gonna be able to remove it. So it's like, if you feel like, at some point you're gonna just keep using the conditioning, keep producing, keep doing all these things, even though you don't feel called to, and then when it works, then you'll be like, all right, then I'll shed all these things. It's like, you're not gonna be able to, because as soon as it works, you're gonna feel like it worked because of that. So then you're gonna keep it running, and then you're gonna look up and be 60, 70, 80, 90, and still like, you know, and then what, be ready then? But it's like, then what? So it's like you have to close all those tabs, you know. You have to remove yourself from it to really be able to see it clearly, and then separate yourself from these programs and these conditionings that don't serve you at all, honestly, you know. So yeah, it feels like that's the opportunity right now. But remember, it all starts here. And I feel very called to continue to press that. It's like, yeah, all these things are waiting for you, but they're behind this card, and it has to be in order. Remember, they came out in order. And remember, and then the last one that came out before we started seeing the repeats was, boom, celebration. You did it. And these are all wands, or well, the ones in the beginning are wands, and then, you know, Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords, and then we're back to celebration. And it's like, yeah, it feels like right now, slow down as you were, kind of allow yourself to be still and take these things in and see things as they are, you know, without you just being so entangled with them. And then by the time you're done with all those processes, you're going to be exactly where you want to be. And it feels like you already are exactly where you want to be, but these programmings and these conditions and all these things that are still very active in your system that are ready to leave, you know, you've done all the work to be able to see them, identify them, and release them. But now it's just like having the strength and the courage to actually do that now, to not lean into them because, does they still feel, they allow you to feel safe. They allow you to feel like you're doing something, It's easy to breathe and relax after you feel like you've done so much, you produce so much. It's like, all right, I made progress, now I can chill. But it's like, that's an illusion as well, because hard work doesn't necessarily mean anything, doesn't necessarily guarantee results. There's hardworking people out here who aren't successful. There's people out here who will sleep when they're dead and all that, and they don't experience success. Like, every hardworking person ever doesn't get everything they want. There's a million stories of that, and there's a million people who are salty, who feel a way towards their life and everything, who feel like they deserve so much because they work so hard. And it's like, that's not always necessarily, that doesn't guarantee you the results, There's way more at play than just your hard work and your labor. And a lot of that is illusions that are continually pushed on us to keep you working hard. But even in that, remember who you're working hard for a lot of the times, who benefits from that, because a lot of us are clocking into jobs or doing all these things and giving our energy away. And it's like, yeah, you got to hustle. You got to give hard. You got to do all these things. But the person who benefits from that is not you, It's just like your energy is being harvested. Our time is being, all that stuff. So it's like, listen to yourself. Give yourself that energy for a change, and disconnect from these programs and these conditionings, and trust that it will lead to everywhere you're going. And that continues to be the message. It feels like, it's like, this is what's waiting on you, and this is what's here right now. All these things are here right now. It feels like a very linear story, but it's all one. It's all here in existence in the present right now. It's like, you can make that shift right now, right this second. You decide and honor it, at every opportunity to honor it, and trust that you'll find yourself on the fast track to all these things because they're waiting to play out. And so you've done all the work for everything you want, but they will not come in until you surrender to yourself and to the flow of you, because that's what they were born of. These very things were born of the seeds of your flow, the seeds of you showing up authentically, the seeds of you doing all your things. So it's like, now that they're ready to come in, they're not going to come in through you sacrificing yourself, through you putting yourself in boxes, through you, allowing things to be bigger than the program of you. Just all that. They're not going to ground in through any of that stuff. So the more you find yourself attuned to those frequencies, understand that these things will continue to escape you and feel so close, but no cigar, So yeah, that's a very clear channel. That's a very clear message right there of surrender. And like I said, it won't have to be long. It just has to be true surrender and true detachment, true all of that. But yeah, it really feels like an instant shift, a really instant shift. But the first move is yours. And yeah, like I said, instant shift. As I say that, boom, the chariot comes out, and they're moving very fast. And also notice how the tigers aren't, you don't see any harness, you don't see a leash, you don't see anything actually connecting it to the chariot. And that feels like that detachment. And it feels like, yeah, the things that are at your disposal are much deeper than physical, And it feels like a reminder of that, like, it's not about what you do, it's about who you are, it's about your intention, and it's about the energy in which you do the things you do. And it's like, yeah, if you try to make sense of it logically, or try to have such hands-on and be so fearful and having so much control, like that's the leash, putting the leashes on the tigers. And it's like, they're not even going to be able to move as fast as they could if you just trusted that they're not going to go anywhere, if you trusted that they're here to get you everywhere you need to go. And you just allow them to do their thing and trust that they're going to keep pulling, and at no point are they just going to dip and leave, and now you're just stuck with a chariot, you can't move. And it's like, you don't have to have your hands on and to trust these things, and trust that, and know that you're going to be limiting yourself as you try to control these energies, as you try to force and manipulate your way to everything that's literally unfolding for you in a magical way already. So it's like, yeah, allow these, feel like, the calls that you get, allow them to be free, allow them to take you in the directions they want to take you, and trust that they understand exactly where you're trying to go. and that they're going to unfold and present themselves to you in a way that gets you there, and you just have to trust it. And just feel, I keep getting that same call as far as the GPS. It feels like, like we don't sit there and question the GPS and challenge the GPS so much, like we might race it to try, beat the time a little bit, but besides that, we don't question like, am I really supposed to turn left? Like, am I really, I'm gonna turn right just to see. Like, you don't do all that, or you don't feel like, it's saying to go left, but nah, I really, really want to go right because everybody else is going right, or I feel like if I go right, that's where I'm supposed to go. You don't do that. It's like you put it on and you trust, you kind of surrender to it, and you just follow it, and you understand that if you do everything right, you're gonna get there. If you listen and just kind of follow, you're gonna get to where you're going when it says you're supposed to get there and all that. And it's like, that feels like, treat yourself that same way, treat your inner calls that way, and trust that if you've done the work to get clear on where you want to go, and you have such a clear destination in mind, and you got it in your GPS of your mind, your heart, your soul, and all that, that all you have to do is allow, and you have to move. Just keep driving, and then when it's time to turn left, boom, turn left. And that'll be the opportunity that presents itself that feels aligned, and you're like, oh, all right, let me do that. And then boom, it'll get you closer. And then be like, all right, turn right. And maintain straight, And these things will surface as you continue to navigate your reality. And trust that everything understands where you're trying to go. And that where you're trying to go is where you're supposed to be. So there's no force or anything necessary to get you to where you belong, It's just like, trust yourself that you have the internal blueprint, that you're so specifically you for a reason. And that the things you want are not separate from who you are. They're not separate from your body, they're not separate from your soul, they're not separate from your mind, outside of you feeling like they are and treating them as that. So it's like, let go. And then the eye on the front, like, he's not looking, he's looking off into the distance, but there's an eye here, and he's kind of just trusting, and they're moving, they're getting where he needs to go. And it's like, that's you. It's like, relax, understand that these things are unfolding as they should, and that you're going to end up exactly where you need to be. Your destination is already locked in. It's like, you only feel disconnected from it when you allow yourself to feel disconnected, or when you feel like there's a wrong turn to make, or if you don't do this thing, you may not end up there, because then that becomes your reality. And it's like, your reality is, this is what's waiting for you. This is what you're destined for. This is what you've been working towards, and it's all been heard, and it's locked in your GPS. Now just trust the journey and get there, and allow yourself to get there, It doesn't take any force or anything like that. Like I said, it's simple, but it's not easy, and I understand that. I definitely do. I definitely do. And then boom. One shuffle, I look at the bottom, and all the cards we were just looking at are back there. It's like, yeah, come on, y'all. Connect to your heart. Be still for a little bit. And it really feels like a little bit. Like, it doesn't have to be long at all, and it's not going to be long. It just has to be true, and at the split second in which you really, really, truly surrender and detach, remember where we started. Your flying fish is coming, 9 of Pentacles. It's like, all you have to do is trust yourself. And I hope you see how aligned all these messages have been so far. Like, they're very, very much connected. A very progressive story is being told. Yep, and then we got another ace on the bottom. We got 9 of Pentacles. And this just also feels like stillness. And it's funny because we went from stillness to the fast-moving chariot back to stillness. And it feels like, trust your flow, Trust that it may come in waves, Life is ebbs and flows. It's not just a consistent speed or consistent momentum, It comes and it goes. It comes, it goes. And it's like this slow progression towards everything. And it feels like, allow your life to be that too. And I'm being drawn to this, how it feels like an eclipse. And it feels like, don't allow the material world and the things that you're chasing after and the things you're trying to bring in for yourself to block your light and to block your connection to it all. Because it's like, all these things are a product of you. They're all energy. And it's like, at no point should you be allowing these things to become bigger than you, or these things to chase, when it's like, they're a part of your world, They're just a part. They're there to help you live your best life ever. So at the point it's making you not live a life you're not proud of, or it's draining you and it's doing all these things, like, you're out of alignment anyway, because that's not the point. The point of it is for you to be able to work with these energies And like money is just an energy. It's like an energy turned physical, but at the root of it, it's just an energy exchange, you know? Like I give you this energy, whether, especially even if you're working for, you know, you worked for, you got the money. It's like, all right, you gave your energy, here's the money. And then you use the money to go do other things. It's just a continuous energy exchange. But at the root of it is you and your energy. Like, so it's not anything outside of yourself, you know? It's just like a tangible representative and symbol of your energy. And it's like, as you're giving your energy away, it's like, that's what you're saying it's worth, you know? A couple $100 or a couple thousand, whatever. It's like, so it's like, understand as you're kind of chasing it, like, it's going to continue to feel like it's escaping you because it's you. You're chasing your tail, you know? And I'm seeing that clearly, like chasing your tail and wondering like why you're not getting closer and why it's running around. Cause like, it's you. Like if you just stop, turn, and like, you can just grab it, bro. Like it's your tail. So it's like, as long as you're sitting there like, oh, I'm trying to get my tail. It's like, it's going to be this thing. And it feels like be still, and being still allows you to see that. And you realize just how much the physical really does come last, you know, how spirit and all these things, it plays up at higher dimensions, how all this is just manifestations of energy, manifestations of spirit and all that. I'm being drawn to how his head's a cloud and his body is kind of fading, and you can see the horse through his body. And it's just kind of like realizing in that stillness that you are spirit, and that's the reality of the situation, and that all of this is products of that energy, manifestations of energy of that spirit. And as long as you're chasing results, as you're chasing the physical things that are born of you at higher dimensions, it's just backwards and it's just out of alignment. And then at the bottom, we got Ace of Wands, which is our third ace of the evening, or of the afternoon. And it just feels like now this is an opportunity for a change in the way you act, a change in the way you cultivate your magic, you use your magic, you work with your magic, as you understand that, oh, like, this is all results. Like, the true power is in my ability to create, my ability to work with these things, my ability to envision things for myself and just take the steps in that direction to ground them in, to bring them in for myself. It changes the way you show up. It changes the way you create. Changes the way you express yourself. You express that passion, that energy, that highly potent and charged energy that's within you. And it feels like that's the next opportunity here, as you allow yourself to be still and realize that all this stuff is born of you, and that you are the center of your universe, and everything that you interact with is through that connection to yourself. So it's like, the more you connect to yourself, the more you're able to connect to money. The more you're able to connect to yourself, the more you're able to connect with love and other people and all that stuff. But it's like, at the root of it all is you. So at the point where you give yourself energy last and you allow all these things to be bigger than the program, you have to understand that your life will be a product of everything being bigger than your program, you know? You can't make everything bigger than, you know, when you feel like resting, but you don't give yourself a chance to rest because you feel like all these things are so important. You can't expect your life to treat you like you're the most important thing, you know? Because you don't treat yourself like you're the most important thing. You treat yourself like, you know, once everything else is taken care of, then I can give myself this. Then I can treat myself. Then I can do self-care once I feel like I deserve it and the rest of the world is taken care of, and now I can rest. Now I can, you know, give myself a treat to celebrate that, you know, I took care of everything. But it's like, understand that you're just going to keep getting reasons to do that. At no point will your world be a place that puts you first, because it all is born of you, and you have to put yourself first in order for your reality to put you first, in order for the world to feel like it puts you first, and that you to feel like you're the center of your universe. And it's like, I feel like if you feel like you're a side character, you don't matter in your own life, it's like, how do you treat yourself? And I'd be willing to bet that you treat yourself that way too, you know? You treat yourself as a side character. You treat yourself like everything else comes first. And once everything's taken care of, then you get to get whatever you need to get for yourself, you know? And this feels like just an opportunity to change that and allow you to really take that wand back into your hand, put yourself back at the center of your universe and your reality, and move in that way, and trust that that's what's in the best interest of literally everything you involve yourself in, you know? Because if things start to fall away as you do that, understand that they're just non-alignment to what's best for you. Because doing what's best for you will never make you lose out on things that are what's best for you. Because there will be resonance, you know? As I do what's best for me, that puts me in resonance to things that are best for me. Just like as I do the things that I know that aren't what's best for me, that puts me in resonance to other things that aren't what's best for me. You know, that relationship that comes in as I'm doing what's not best for me, I can't expect it to be a relationship that's what's best for me, you know, because I wasn't in that attuned to that frequency as I attracted it in. And we're all big magnets at the end of the day. So it's like if you're tuned to a frequency of self-sacrificing, of shrinking, of minimizing, understand that that's going to put you in direct dissonance to things that are what's best for you. So it's like, as you do that, you'll also see the things that, you know, you love start to fall away. You know, that relationship that's so aligned to you, you're going to feel at odds with it as you continue to show up inauthentically in your life, as you continue to make everything else more important than you. Understand that that relationship that you attracted in at the point where you were surrendered and showing up and choosing what's best for you, understand that you're going to feel at odds with it. You're going to be like, damn, like, I don't know, I feel kind of disconnected from this thing. It's like, yeah, because you've been attuned to a different frequency. And it's like, you can't have it both, you know? If you're attuned to a frequency of your highest vibration, understand that things that aren't your highest vibration, they will start to crumble and fall away, you know? The towers will start to topple, and that's in your best interest anyway, to create room for more things that are what's best for you. It's not a sign that things are wrong, but understand that just in that same way, as you're attuned to your lowest timeline into a frequency that's not a match, understand that the things that are matched for you will start to have, there will be tension. Because it's like, as you continue to give your energy to sustaining these low vibrational dynamics, the high vibrational ones that you're not attuned to at that moment will become unstable because your energy is not there. You're not attuned to that frequency. So it's like, you're choosing timelines, and it's like, you can't have both, you know, and nothing happens in a vacuum. So it's like, if you're choosing your highest your timeline, you got to continue to choose that relentlessly. And if you're choosing your lowest one, hey, choose that relentlessly. But you're truly doing a disservice by being in between and playing foot in, foot out, foot in, foot out, because now you're giving your energy to both. You're going to feel scattered. You're going to feel drained. And you're not going to see the results that you want to see. You're going to feel at odds, and you're going to feel in between worlds. You're going to feel at odds with your entire reality because you're not truly in either. You know, you stay in this space between, you know, teeter-tottering between high vibe and low vibe, trying to keep it all at once. And it's like, why? Commit to the high vibrations, commit to the low vibration, but commit so you can kind of get some type of stability at some point. But as long as you're in between, you're going to always feel teeter-tottered and unstable until one wins out. And it's like, the choice is already made. You know where you want to be at, but it's like truly surrendering and allowing that to be the case. And this feels like the golden opportunity to decide and really decide and move in that direction, and not in a direction like, okay, I'm going to go this direction, I'm going to see, but really surrendering, like, this is what I'm doing now, and wherever that takes me, I'm willing to go there. And yeah, it feels like that's the opportunity you're being given right now. And under that is the star. And that just feels like wish fulfillment, you know, realizing that you were able to do that this whole time, and that you are one with everything. Like, look, they're bathing in the stars. Like, they're in, this is a cosmic space here, but it's pouring like water. And it's like, look, bathing in it. And it's like, that's the reality of the situation. It's like, you're a part of all these things, and things may not have been what they appear to be, you know? And it's like, allow these things to be beautiful, and realize just how one with it you all are, and just how one it all is, you know? It's like, that's what's here for you right now. But it takes you choosing yourself and choosing it in a way that's final, you know, not being like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give this 2 weeks, and then if I don't see results, I'm gonna get scared and go back. But it's kind of like, I'm surrendered. So it's like, at the point these anxious thoughts come up, and the shoulds and the pressures and all that come up, I'm not listening to them, like, no matter what. Like, I'm committed to this journey. I'm committed to allowing this to unfold. And it's like, boom, and it feels like under that, the hermit, you know. And it will look more water energy. It's like surrendering to that flow, and understanding that the flow, you're never disconnected from it. Even if you can't see it, it's like, it's there. You're a part of it. And it's like, even the star card with them bathing in the stars, it's like, you didn't even know that this was water. And it's like, wow, there's flow here too. And it's like, yes, the flow is everywhere. There's no escaping it. The flow is who you are. It's like, boom. And through all this, I'm also being drawn to the darkness in these cards. And it just feels like intuition, trusting your intuition being connected to it all, and always having a view that's higher than yours, you know? Because like, as you're down here surrounded by all these walls, up here is you as well, at a higher vantage point, still connected to the sun, you know? I'm being drawn to how the moon is reflecting the sun's light, you know? And it's like, it may seem dark or whatever, it may seem separate, but at the end of the day, your light is always present. That flow is always present. You're always protected, you're always being watched over, and you're always connected to it all. And it's like, trust that, please trust that. And don't lean onto your own physical eyes, and trust that, and know that the 3D is just results, you know? None of this was born right in this second, you know? This tree is a product of past intentions, past seeds being planted, past everything. This jersey was not just made this second and then appeared on my body. Like, it's a product of a past idea, past work, past labor. I thrifted this too, so it's a product of past ownership, them, you know, experiencing it and then deciding to give it up. And when they did, and then I found it when I did, like, it was born of a lot of things that had nothing to do with me, a lot of things I will never even know the true gravity of. And it's not for me to know, but it all came together as it did to be here in this moment right now, for me to be on my body, for you guys all to see it. And, you know, it's like, there's just so much, and there's no coincidence. So it's like, I'm not responsible for all that. I don't need to know where it was made. I don't need to know its entire story in order to benefit from it right now, you know, or in order to benefit from the warmth or the energy that it has, or the way it makes me feel, or any of that. It's just not my burden to carry. It's not for me to know, and I don't need to know it. So this just feels like, and thank you, Haley. And this just feels like that same call of just understanding that, like, you don't need to know everything. You just need to understand that you're connected to this flow, feel the flow and ride it out. Show up for it, allow it to have space in your experience, and trust that it will take you everywhere it needs to take you, and that there's so many things that are working in your favor to get you there. And it's like, you're able to do that more and more as you silence the noise, as you remove a lot of these distractions, as you disconnect from a lot of the programming, the fear, and all that's designed to keep you disconnected from that very connection and that flow by design, like literally by design. So yeah, understand that you will never see these things super mainstream. You'll never be told to go do these things at a super wide level until, you know, everybody just knows it, and that's just the world we live in. But understand, if you're waiting for permission to trust yourself, if you're waiting for permission to know that you're connected to it all, if you're waiting for the rest of the world to catch up, understand that you'll forever be disconnected. And right now, you're being called to be ahead of the curve. You're being called to be part of that proof that allows the world to shift into these things, you know? And it's like, everybody's not hearing these things. Everybody's not at a place to even be able to wrap their mind around a lot of these things. So as someone who is, that's your responsibility to ground these things in and allow them to be grounded in through you. Allow yourself to be the living proof, and then trust that the world will come along when they do. But yeah, it's like, if you're hearing it, it's a responsibility for, and look, I just split right back to it. And I didn't even really split intentionally. I just felt called to kind of just, and boom, right back to the hermit. It's like, trust that you can't make this stuff up, y'all. And I just did it again. Wow. And on the other split, I split back to the stillness. And it's like, you can't make this stuff up. So it's like, at the point where you see all this unfold and you understand it to be just as magical as it all is, what is the reason to be upholding all this conditioning and all this fear and still be moving into in this programming that's been put on you, when you know that the reality of the situation is this, and there's no coincidence, and you know that. So it's like, yeah, the call to detach and really move in your knowings is so big right now, like so big. The time to see, the time to test it out, the time to just kind of dabble and, you know, like kind of just play with, like, ooh, this is so magical, like this is so nice, like, wow, this is so dope, is over. Like it's far more deep than that at this point. It's like, you came here for a reason, you're getting these things for a reason. Now it's time to embody them, stand in them, allow yourself to be seen and grounded in, and trust that that's how you get to the next step. Like, there's nothing else to be experienced at this level, you know? It's like, you've done it. So you're gonna start to feel stagnant. You're gonna start to feel stuck. You're gonna start to feel like, wow, like, okay, like, I'm doing all these things, where is everything else? And it's like, are you embodied? Are you truly embodied? Are you still allowing these programs to run in your life unchecked when you know them to be programs, when you know it to be conditioning? Are you making excuses for them? Are you defending them? Are you upholding your own oppression? Like, and look, as I say, upholding your own oppression, it's like, this is the 9 of Swords, and this feels like illusion in itself. And it's like, yeah, these feel like swords. They're not even tangible physical swords. They're like swords born of his own mind. He's hiding from himself. He's allowing these things to exist, knowing that he knows that they aren't even real. They're BS. They're illusions. He knows that. And it's like, but they're still so scary. And he's like, he doesn't completely trust himself in order to, the way he needs to, which would make not giving these any energy easy, you know? Because the only reason I could imagine that you would know all these things and know just the truth of all this and still be allowing conditioning and all that to play out in your existence is because you don't truly trust yourself, you know? Because if you don't truly trust yourself, then you don't even know, like, okay, I know these things to be true, but if I don't trust myself, can I trust these thoughts? Can I trust this unfoldment? Or am I, you know, making it up or all whatever? And it's like, that's the call right now, is to do what you need to do to be able to trust yourself. Because you know these things, you've seen the magic play out, you've seen it play out in your own experience, you've seen your own magic work out. And it's like, what's the disconnect? Why are you still following conditioning? Why are you still allowing all these things to pressure you and make you do this and that when you know that they're illusions at the end of the day? And the only reason I could come up with is that you don't truly trust yourself. And it feels like there's importance in admitting that. And in admitting that you allow that energy to move as you, okay, I don't trust myself. Why don't I trust myself? Now you can kind of engage with it and you can question it because it's an illusion. As you question it and work with it, it'll disintegrate slowly but surely until it's nothingness, because it was always nothingness. It was based in BS. It's not the truth of the situation. But until you kind of understand that you don't trust yourself, then it will always escape you. Like, you'll always be like, damn, like, what's going on? I'm doing all the things right. And it's like, the final thing is embodiment and really surrendering to yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, that's impossible. You'll never be able to surrender yourself because you'll always question it. As soon as things get hard, you're going to look in the mirror. You're going to feel like you're doing something wrong. You're going to try to be like, oh, am I misguided? Like, maybe I need to do more, or like all those things. But it's like, come into union with yourself on the bottom. We've got 2 of Cups with the fire in between. And it feels like trust yourself. And it feels like more of that unity between the shadow self and yourself. And it's like, yeah, allow these things to come into nature. Wow, that's interesting. And yeah, if you are nature and you are a part of the flow of everything that is, and it's like, as long as you continue to look at yourself as if there was a way for you to get out of alignment, as if there was a way for you to be separate and disconnected from it all, that you will continue to see those type of results. But it's like, you're a part of the universe. You are God embodied. You're the universe embodied. You're the grass. You're the trees. You're the animals. You're everything. And it's like, trust yourself. If anything, the way you trust God, the way you trust the universe, trust yourself, because you are an embodiment of those very energies. And if you can trust all this but not trust yourself, you're disconnected. So definitely take a look at that and realize that you are it all, and come into union with yourself. And look around and realize that you're just seeing a bunch of reflections of yourself. Good, bad, and ugly, you know. It's all you at different frequencies vibrating differently. So, and look, under that, allow your heart and your head to come into balance. Your mind and your heart, your soul and your mind, your soul and your body. Allow all that to come into balance. And then look, the ear here. It's like, and then listen to it. Trust what it's telling you. Trust the communication that you're receiving from that connection to it all. And really surrender, man. Like that just keeps being the call. And then look. And then it's funny because this is 2, but in Roman numerals, it looks kind of like an 11 to me. And then this is 11, Justice card. And under that, we have another 2. And it feels like 11. And then it's coming into balance, the 2 of Pentacles. And it's like, there's a lot of balance here right now and coming together. And like we continue to say, it's like, really uniting all these things and realizing that they're not separate, you know, that they're all together. And I'm being drawn to the pomegranate on one side and the fire on the other side. It's like spirit and the actions you take are very much connected. So it's like, if you're taking action without that spiritual side of it, understand that it's an empty action. It's not serving you. So it's like, it has to be a spiritual yes, and it has to be alignment to the action and come together to truly, really move that infinite energy and to really, you know, be able to have all the elements at your disposal. It has to be together, because there is no separation. So at the point where you're moving in separation, it's like, yeah, my spirit is not into this. It's not really inspired. this is really just born of my mind and my body and all that, but my spirit's kind of taking a back seat. Understand that the impact won't be as profound as it should be and it can be. So it's like, you have to bring all these things into union. You have to bring all these things into union. And yeah, and that doesn't mean, like I said, that doesn't mean just wait for inspired action to find you or inspired calls to find you. It's like, do the things that cultivate you, If you really want to go work on something, okay, go watch something that makes you feel inspired. Go pay attention to something that naturally makes you feel inspired, and then work from there, Go act in that point. But if you do not allow yourself to just be moving from disempowered places, from like, oh, I feel like I have to do that, so let me go do it. And you're spending the whole time like just waiting to be done. When it's like, yo, if you really, really felt like you had to go do that, okay, at least get inspired first, at least, at least go reconnect to your why. Go watch some videos of people trying different things that you haven't tried, and then be like, all right, like I'll go do this work, but at least let me try something new in it, to where now it becomes play, because now I'm trying something new. I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm doing something that I always do from a perspective I've never seen it from. So where now at least it has that some play in it, has some type of inspiration in it. It's not entirely just, I'm just doing this. And because it's like, that's your energy is way too valuable, and you're way too divine. You're way too cosmic, way too everything to be moving like that, Like, you deserve to be moving in ways that make you feel fulfilled. And your work should feel like this, Like you're moving mountains, like you're performing alchemy, like you have the whole world at your disposal, and not at your disposal, because that sounds wasteful, but that wants to work with you, because all these elements want to work with you. And the things you're working on should make you feel like this, like you're literally doing magic, you're literally performing alchemy, you're literally doing divine ass work. And it's like, it can feel like this as long as you cultivate that energy and that connection to the things you're doing. And if things absolutely just have no way to make you feel that way, then it's probably just not aligned for you to be doing it. But yeah, definitely take that into your own hands, as far as just the inspiration and cultivating it. If you really, really feel like, okay, like I need to be doing something, all right, at least get inspired first, at the very least. Yeah, and then under that, we got the 9 of Cups. And this just feels like the culmination after you've done all that. It's like kind of like getting the results and realizing that, there's these cups, and it feels like different things you've tried and different ways of being that you've experienced and tried. And then, and it feels like certain things you tried all the way to the end, certain things you changed directions on. And then this cup right here is full, but it's just not the right one. It's like you didn't even give that one too much weight. And it's like there's this one cup down here that's empty. And then there's this cup down here that's spilling like this majestic purple divine color down, that's spilling out of the frame. And it just feels like, don't feel like you have to stick in any of these places longer than you need to. Once you realize it doesn't work for you, let it go, and trust that you're being more and more refined as you do that. And yeah, it feels like the very next cup as you do this, and then as you surrender to the flow of you, this next cup is the cup. It's the one you've been looking for. It's the one you've been trying to cultivate and bring into your existence. And it's like all you have to do is follow yourself and trust yourself, and yeah, allow these things to fall away as they become clearly not you, Yeah, and there's just more. The energy is just full of just the same vibes, the same energy. It's like under that is the Hangman. And it just feels like, yo, surrender to yourself, surrender to you. And it might feel scary, like it's a whole snake as the rope. But it's like, it's going to be scary until you do it. And then as you do it, once you fully surrender, you're like, forget it, I'm just going to do it. Then you realize like, oh, that snake's still chilling. Like it could bite the shit out of me, but it's not biting me. It's like, yeah, because it's always been trying to work with you. And snakes get a bad rap, but snakes are very spiritual. They're very holy. They're very divine, honestly. So it's like, remember that a lot of this stuff is condition based, the very things that are in our best interest that will make us feel empowered are the very things that we're taught to be afraid of, So the scary it is a lot of the time, it's chances are you might want to look there, that there might be something that's being hidden from you in the fear, So it's like, if it feels uncomfortable to rest, if it feels uncomfortable to sit still and not be productive and not be pushing up against the wall when you don't feel called to push up against the wall, that's important information right there. That's indicator that that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing, you know? Because you felt so comfortable in it, and then you told me like, it just doesn't feel like I'm supposed to be doing it, then I trust it more. But if you feel uncomfortable and you're like, I don't, it's all these things, then that just tells me that, you're just not used to it. And, that's that conditioning rearing its head, like, you looking a little stagnant. You sure you're not doing all the things? There's stuff on your plate and you're chilling, like, you're wasting your potential, all these things that are bullshit, to be honest, like, plain and simple bullshit. And it's like, but you don't get to see that until you surrender, until you give into that snake a little bit and be like, all right, let me see. And then boom, then you'll realize, oh, okay, I can do this. But it's like, you have to make that first decision. And that will always be the case, If you wait for the outside to push you in that direction, it will never. You will only get more reasons not to do it. You only get more things that say that you can't trust it. You can't trust yourself. You have to continue to just do what they say you're supposed to do, and then you'll get the results. And it's like, that's not the world we're living in anymore. And under that, we got Six of Swords. And this feels like another call to remember that you're infinite. And that and trust that your mind and all that is supposed to be serving you. And that take the thoughts that feel like where you're going, take the things that pour into your cup and that make you feel the ways you're trying to feel, the things that make you feel free, that make you feel charged and inspired and abundant, and take those things and head off and follow your GPS inside you and ride off into the light, follow the energy, and trust that that's leading you exactly where you need to go. You see, there's no paddles, there's no oar in this picture, there's nothing that historically would tell you is used to push yourself and to propel you towards movement, right? But he's moving. And he's moving right towards that sun with no hands. You can't even see his arms. Like, there's no force at all in this picture, but there's all flow again. And it's flowing right into the sun. And it's like, that's what you're being offered right now too. It's like, force is not the way forward, period. Not right now, and not in the future, at no point again. So it's like, the quicker you surrender to it, the more you can see the truth of that and get your proof back. But the more you fight it, eventually you're going to give into it because it's the truth, the truth is the truth, and it will be seen more and more as, people continue to ground it in, as more people, like, we're not the only ones having these conversations. So it's like, as more and more people do it, as the collective does it more and more, the truth will be seen more and more, and it will become more and more present in our reality. And if you wait till then to do it, then you'll be missing out on what's so available to you right now. And you're hearing this message right now because it's available to you right now. Everybody's not hearing it. Like I said, we're not the only ones having these conversations, but everybody's not receiving these things either. So it's like, all you're being asked to do is, surrender to it and surrender to yourself, because at the end of the day, it's all going to make you feel more empowered anyway. It's not for anybody else. Nobody else benefits off of it outside of you, and aside the rest of the collective in time. But yeah, choose yourself and choose what feels like you and choose what resonates, And I know if you continue to be here every week, you continue to hear these messages, and you're still here as I'm talking about that, it resonates with you, So it's like, boom, right on the bottom, you've got 10 of Pentacles. It's like, don't lean into your own eyes. The truth of it all, it's all born within you first, It's all born within you first. Like, you feel rich on the inside long before you become rich. You feel loved and supported long before you see the proof of that outside you, It's born inside you, and then it gets reflected on the outside. So it's like, you have to cultivate these energies within yourself. And there's no way to do that while, falling into what the mainstream tells you can do and what you're supposed to be doing and running all these programmings and these conditionings. Because they'll never lead you to yourself. They'll never lead you to slowing down. They'll never lead you to any of that stuff in which your magic is cultivated. The very things that are pushed are in direct opposition to your magic, in direct opposition to divine flow and universal everything. All this is the upside down a lot of the times. So if you find yourself in alignment to a lot of the things that are being taught and a lot of the things that are being pushed, trust that you're probably on the wrong side of the fence more times than not. If you find yourself with the masses and pushing the same thing the masses are pushing, chances are you're disconnected from the truth of the situation here. But understand that it's all here for you. It's all here for you. And this is your freedom. This is the call from within the house to free yourself. It's like Judgment Day is here. And it's like it's time to make a decision once and for all. Like you've been hearing this for a while, and it's been nice to flirt with the energies and to dabble a little bit. But it's like the next step, and the only actual step to take now, is full surrender, full detachment, full embodiment. And if you can't do that, trust that that's making a decision too. So it's like, hey, choose where you want to go and trust that you're going to go there. And indecision is a decision too. And look, we got the Tower on the split. And it's like, hey, it's time. This is the final countdown. Things are going to be crashing down. So it's just a matter of what? Is it going to be your old self or this new self that you've been flirting with? You've seen the magic. You've seen everything that's here for you. You felt the calls. You got the synchronicities. You've gotten the timely messages, the miracles, all that. It's like, but you're still playing a teeter-totter game of back and forth. And now this is the time where something comes crashing down. And I would hope it would be that old self and the old way of living. I would hope that's what you choose. But understand that if not, then hey, it'll be this future self that you've been experiencing, that you've been getting, the appetizer of, you've been pre-gaming with, you've been experiencing. But it's like, now's the time to choose once and for all. And you choose in your actions. You choose in the way you show up when the opportunities show up, when a chance to choose the abundance or lack shows up. It's like, what are you choosing? And so you're choosing timelines. And it's time, especially as winter is progressing and spring is unfolding. It's like, yo, make that decision and allow everything else to fall and mold itself around that. So, yeah, and as I say that, we got 2 on the bottom again. Got Justice on the bottom again. Ooh, and then I see the moon up here. Or not the moon. I see 9 of Swords again, just as far as repeat energy. But the moon popping up when I thought it was going to be another repeat feels like a message in itself of just like, as far as just, and then the different moon phases as well. Like there's several moons here, and we've seen a lot of moons just in the different cards today. And it just feels like, trust your intuition, man. It'll take you to the super highest heights. And look, this figure is standing on stilts, like, and going beyond the clouds, and is reaching up, to the moon. And it's like, yeah, allow your intuition to take you to those heights. And it's like, that's how you get to everywhere you're trying to go. If you try to follow the blueprint and the roads laid out by the powers that be, or the powers that were, because their time is up, honestly. We're experiencing the unfoldment of that as we speak, but not to get distracted. If you follow that, what's been laid out for you and what's been as the plan, as the blueprint, then understand that you'll never reach these heights. They're designed to keep you at a lower level. So it just feels like, trust that in the darkness you're being guided. It may seem like you don't know what to expect on this route. As presence, you're being called to just be present and to maybe plan less and to be less rigid and all that. Understand that it is the darkness, but understand that it's way further. You'll get way further in that darkness because there's so many possibilities, and you open yourself up to the unfoldment of miracles and possibilities and magic as you lean into the darkness more and take your hands off and be less rigid. So it just feels like a call to continue to check back in with your darkness, check back in with your own intuition, your own guidance. And under that is 7 of Cups. And then Wheel of Fortune. 7 of Cups and Wheel of Fortune. And this just feels like in that process, what I was just talking about, how there's unlimited possibilities as you kind of hold space for your darkness and hold space for the not knowing and the unfoldment of you. It's like the Wheel of Fortune. The tables will continue to turn in your favor as you create room for magic, as you create room for miracles. Confirmation burp. And the hand coming right out the book feels like this is a direct product of your knowings, The way forward is not through fear, is not to fall into old programming, but it's to remember your knowings, your teachings, and the connection to it all that you've cultivated through all this. And that's the way forward right now. And that's what you're being called to do. And I got frozen up for a second because I'm being drawn to this flying fish. And I remember we started off talking about how to get your flying fish. And then look, on the bottom is this card again. Oh, and I'm seeing repeats again. And it feels like it's time to wrap up tarot. And I'm definitely going to go into Oracle a bit. But yeah, it just feels like it came full circle as far as like, this is the moment now. Remember, this was a call at that moment, that very second where you truly, truly detach. And then boom, what you've been waiting on, that magical thing that seemed like a myth at times, you know, because it kept saying, oh, it's coming in. You got some surprises on the way. Oh, everything you ever wanted is here for you, you know, as you watch readings and you keep getting breadcrumbed, it feels like. And it's like, this feels like that moment where it's like, whoa, like you actually exist. Like the legendary flying fish that I've only heard so much about, that I've been working and cultivating so hard to be able to encounter. And that moment you've really just was like, you know what? It's okay. It'll come when it needs to. It's like, boom. It's like, now you're ready. And it surfaced. It flew right out the water to your hand. And it just feels like, yeah, the tables are turning, man. Your flying fish is here. And it's like, allow your darkness to lead you to the possibilities and make the choices that feel like you. And trust that your flying fish is your flying fish. So the things that feel like you and choosing the timelines that feel like you lead you to those things. So, hell yeah. And then on the bottom, like I said, there's been repeats. And it's like that Nine of Swords again. Remember, that shit's born in your head, yo. Like, these are illusions. And they're darn good illusions. Not just casted by you, but, yeah, by the collective, by the powers that were and everything. And on the bottom, I'll let this one be the last one. It's like Eight of Cups. And, yeah, you're leaving that behind, man. Allowing those cups to be empty because they are empty. They're done. You're done with living your life like that. You're done with the program. You're done with the conditioning. There's nothing more positive for it to do in your life, you know? Like maybe it kept you safe. Maybe it taught you things as far as how the world works. And to now you can kind of see just the program. You can see it all play out because, you know, you've experienced it. You've been a part of it. But now it's like, now it's not doing anything for you. It's not doing anything positive at all. It's only keeping you disconnected from the realities and the timelines that are ready for you right now. Not that are going to be ready for you, not that you're working towards, but that are ready for you right now. It's like all you're being asked to do is turn your back on these things and leave them behind and don't go back to them anymore, you know? Don't succumb to them anymore. Don't allow them to make you move this way or that way anymore. Like, the time for that is done. And trust that if you continue to entangle yourself with these things, you're going to find yourself replaying these lessons again. And you're going to just sign up for another phase of your life of you learn those lessons until you can fully surrender and accept the truth that is available to us all, you know, right now, and especially available to you right now as you find yourself hearing these messages over and over and over again. Another moon on this card. And look, this time it's not even tied to the darkness. The sun's up and the moon is still there. And it's like your intuition is present always. And in your darkest hour and in your lightest hour. And it's to be trusted and followed always. And it's like, yeah, feel empowered in that, please. And that's the call right now. I'm going to shuffle and grab one more. Oh, I just saw it. And look, our final ace. We got all the aces. And it's funny because this is the Ace of Pentacles. And remember, we're talking about the physical. That comes last. And this is a representation of the physical. And it came last, right when I was ready to wrap this up. And we almost didn't get it, you know. And I wasn't searching for it. I was detached from it. I wasn't thinking about it anymore. And then boom, it presented itself right then. It's like, now you're ready for it. Now when you're not allowing it to be bigger than the program, now when you're not chasing it like it's something that's separate from you, now here you go. You're finally in the perfect place for it. And exactly, fire emojis as fuck. It's like, boom, here you go. And look, Chariot right there too. We're moving. And we don't have to hold on so tightly. We don't have to sit there and try to control it. This is where we're headed for anyway. It's here for us. All we have to do is align to it. And you align to it through detachment by realizing that it's all a product of you anyway. And you come first regardless. Nothing is bigger than your program. If it doesn't light you up, if it makes you unhappy, if it makes you feel less than, trust that it's not going to lead you to anywhere that makes you feel more than. It's just going to lead you to more spaces that make you feel less than. That make you feel like you have to continue to sacrifice, that you have to continue to put yourself in boxes. In that very moment where you let go, you're flying fish. And it's like, boom, that final pinnacle. Remember, the first one we got was the Ace of Cups. Change how we feel. Then we got the opportunity to change how we think, to change our relationship to our mind. And then we got the Ace of Wands. Okay, now that we did that, now we change how we act, how we show up, how we create, and all that. And then boom, and at the very moment where that became enough for us, here you go. Here's everything else. Here's your pentacles. And that's so beautiful and that's so poetic. And I couldn't create or produce or any of that. Like, that had to just unfold in the way it did. And yeah, the magic is just so loud and so apparent. Like, there's nothing I even have to say anymore at this point. It's like, yeah, it's wild, man. And then a couple sevens on the bottom. We got the Chariot, that's a 7. And then we got the 7 of Swords. And it just feels like lucky energy. And I'm also hearing God energy as well. I'm just being drawn to 7 being God and divine and supreme mathematics. And it just feels like that's the energy that's playing out right now, and that's at your beck and call right now. And yeah, this is beautiful, man. I'm really honored to be a part of this flow and to be able to experience it and to be able to mirror it and express it, honestly, because it feels so divine and so important. And yeah, y'all feel so divine and so important. And I feel like we don't even know the half of who we have here gathered today, you know? It feels like in time, like I've said this before, it feels like in time we're going to look back and realize just who we had in one space and one setting at any given time on these Mondays. And it's like, wow, we didn't even know, like, you know, like we got $1 billion boardroom right here, just sitting here meeting and convening over these things and these thoughts and these ideas. And it's like, yep, here go 10 of Wands. And then 6 of Swords, repeats again. It's like Ace of Cups here, Ace of Swords, they're still together kicking it, like Justice, the Moon. Yeah, it's all here. But yeah, it's our time, man. And I see the Emperor just sitting there chilling amongst the repeats. And it's like, yeah, this is your world. It's like, where you want to go, that has to be at the forefront. And that's the most important thing to remember right now. It's your world. Follow that internal call everywhere you want to go. And I'm being drawn to how this is a reflective energy, just being the Roman numerals for 4 and 6, how this is IV and then it's VI. And it's like, yeah, you're being offered the opportunity to really change your whole dynamic with how you approach your world, yo. Flip it right on its head, to reflect it, and to really put yourself at the forefront and realize that you are the center of your universe. And you're not ever, the call from the outside world will never push you to realize that and to move in that, but that's the truth. And you can't allow anything to be bigger than the program of you, because at the end of the day, you are the center point of your universe, you know? As all these things come and go, you remain. As long as you're here, it'll always be you. As the best things ever in your life fall away, as the worst things ever, you overcome them and move on from them, you remain. So you have to be the most important thing in your experience always. Always. Because you're teaching your universe and your reality how to treat you. So if you don't put yourself first, don't expect your world to put you first. Plain and simple. D&D. Nobody's bigger than the program, man. If you have to put yourself on Do Not Disturb, just like you have to put your phone on Do Not Disturb sometimes, do that. And trust that, the things that are in alignment to you and that are truly in your highest good, it will never create problems with those people, you know. If the only way to sustain a relationship is to sacrifice yourself and to give parts of yourself that you don't have or that you don't want to give, that's not a relationship worth keeping. And that's just not just people, that's the things as well, you know. If the only way to sustain your livelihood is to beat yourself down and to put yourself in boxes and to sacrifice your life force and literally drain yourself of your very valuable and royal cosmic energy, that's too expensive for us. Got to let it go. Got to kind of find a way to move these things slowly out of your existence. And it's like X, and this feels like the Family Feud, like where it's like, wrong. Like, no, we're not doing that anymore. It's like every time you find yourself going in the directions of self-sacrificing, people-pleasing, and just places that aren't a hell yes to your soul, you gotta really wrong, slap your hand. No, that's not it. We're not doing that anymore because it is that deep, especially right now. And this just feels like Jason. Like, yo, you are that villain in your story a lot of the times. You are that big scary boogeyman in your closet a lot of the times. You're the one upholding those things as you're kind of making excuses for putting yourself in boxes, as you're defending your oppression and upholding a lot of the things that oppress you. Understand that you're Jason, you know? Like, you're the one that's terrorizing yourself. And it's like, why? At what point do you free yourself and allow yourself to experience the reality of the situation, which really is you being at the center of it and taking your power back from these things and really realizing that a lot of those things are being upholded by you and by your energy. You're using your divine ass energy to put yourself in boxes and to put yourself in a prison. Get out of your head. That's where a lot of these things exist. A lot of these things aren't even real or happening in the physical. A lot of them are just, maybe they were real in the physical at one point, but now it's like they did their job so well to disconnect you that now it's just in your head, you know? Now you're telling yourself no. Now you're telling yourself it's not that simple. Now you're telling yourself that things have to be this way. And it's like, that's not the truth. And it's like, maybe it was true at one point. I won't take that away from you. But it's like, in this moment, it's like, you're the one upholding them now. You're the one telling yourself no. You're the one keeping yourself imprisoned in these boxes. And it's like, for what? For what? Literally for what? And yeah, I ignored this, and I should have known it would have came out. But 15 seconds and peak might be important too. It's like, you're in peak form right now. It's like, now you're in prime position for all these things that you've been trying to cultivate. And I can't tell if my head's cut off because I have my phone kind of turned because it's busted to where I can see the chat, but now I can't see like myself. But so if I'm all cut off, you can't see me. Forgive me. But yeah, 15 seconds in pink. It feels like 15 seconds. That's all it takes. It feels like, I always say, like 15 seconds away. You're always 15 seconds away. And that 15 seconds is always rolling at the point where you're so embodied and you feel so aligned in your life. And pink just feels like divine grace and the divine really taking care of you. And it's like, yo, you're always 15 seconds away. And that 15 seconds starts over at the very point where you allow yourself to feel disconnected. That's the only time you're far away and that things are not, you know, you're not moving, is when you allow yourself to feel disconnected from that flow and from the universe, because the reality is you're always connected. Because, you know, how can you disconnect yourself? As long as your heart's beating, as long as that soul's in your body, as long as you're breathing oxygen, you're connected to it all, you know? And it's like, yo, be gentle with yourself and allow your 15 seconds to stay running and realize that you get to see just how connected you are. And it's like, be honest. You know yourself to be connected. It's like, we're not asking you to believe in illusion, because the illusions is your disconnection. That's what's not real. And look, the sirens and all that. That feels like a message in itself. It's like, don't get lost in the noise. Don't get lost in all of this, because the reality of it is that you're exactly where you need to be. And be honest with yourself, because you know that. And look how the sun's coming out to play, as it's been shielded by the clouds for a lot of this reading. And boom, it's like, be honest. That's the reality of you. You're the sun. You're the light. And it's like, allow yourself to be felt. Allow yourself to be present. Allow other people to experience the warmth of you, the divine grace, and the reality of everything that you represent and everything that is supporting you. And water. And it's like, just in that same breath, you are water. And water is a very powerful element, you know. At its best, water is very nourishing. It provides, you know, your body runs on water. The planet is 75% water, just like your body, like all these things. It's like, that's the reality of you. And at its worst, you know, water is very destructive. You can see water can, over time, destroys rock and shapes landforms. Like, there's landforms that are all shaped in literally just because the water running over it over and over again. Running over it over and over again. Wow, that was a wild sentence. But it's like, water is very multidimensional, you know. It can be very destructive. It can be very healing. And it's like, that's the reality of it. And it's like, you're that same way. And it's like, you can heal yourself just as much as you can hurt yourself through the way you show up and through the way you interact with yourself and through the connection you understand yourself to have to it all. So it's like, yeah, really be intentional with how you treat yourself, how you're showing up, and all that. And trust that that's a very important thing to do right now. And just in general, like that's just the way forward. So cultivate that connection to yourself now and allow yourself to run like water and be really, really divine water. And I saw red and I ignored it and it came out again. And be honest came out again. And now I'm being drawn to the fact that I'm wearing all red right now. And it just feels like a connection to your root chakra. And it's like, allow yourself to be safe, because the reality of it is that you are safe in your reality. And you're not at the mercy of what you do or don't do. You're not at the mercy of this person or that person, or feeling like you have to be on a swivel and be safe because you never know what can happen. That's not the truth. Be honest. You are divinely protected and you know that. You are connected to it all and you know that. So it's like, trust and allow yourself to anchor into that knowing, into the connection to it all that you so much know yourself to be an embodiment of. And it just feels like, stop playing. Like, it just feels like that same call to, you experienced all this magic, you've seen what's out here, what's available to you, and now all you have to do is surrender and be honest. Like, move in those knowings and only make the decisions that are in alignment to how you know yourself to be connected to it all, period. And it's like, at every turn, stop and make that decision that's in alignment to what you know, and trust that it will lead you to everywhere you're going. And I'm also seeing the pool in my mind's eye. Remember, that was where the very first thing we saw before we started shuffling and everything on the split. And it's like, this is it. This is it. Like, from here, this is everything. There's no more time to play. There's no more time to flirt, like I said, to flirt with the magic, to kind of play hard to get with the magic. Like, ooh, like, oh yeah, I like you, but I'm not ready yet. Like, I'm gonna kind of go dabble with my ex-boyfriend some more, and in the lack and the conditioning, like, I'm gonna still go flirt with him, even though I know he doesn't give a fuck about me, even though I know that he hurts me at every opportunity. But it's familiar, and I'm not really entirely sure about this magic thing, and trusting myself and the truth of the new earth and oneness and all that. Even though I've seen the magic and I've experienced it, but I'm gonna still go flirt with my ex. It's like, stop that shit. Be honest with yourself and surrender to the flow and let these things fall away and create space and really experience the truth of it all, because what you've experienced is only a fragment of it. As you kind of go back and forth and you dabble here and come back and go back and there, trust that you haven't experienced the full magnitude of the magic, because the fullness of it comes through surrender and continuing to send the energy in that direction. But as long as you're kind of going back and forth, you're only experiencing a little bit of it. But you've experienced enough to know, and then boom, look, it's funny because these cards almost flew away, which made me kind of distracted me. It's like 1984, and this feels like, as long as you continue to dabble in these things when you know that they're BS and you know that they're literally made to oppress you, and that a lot of this reality is the way it is by design to keep you down and to keep you from actualizing the bigness and the grandness that you are, as long as you continue to feed into it when you know that's BS, understand that you're trapped there and you're going to continue to be trapped there. And it doesn't matter how much you flirt with this idea of your magic, how much you flirt with the magic and practice and dabble in it, your reality will remain what it is. And then just like that, it's like green popped up. Remember, we were just talking about red and being honest. And it's like, yes, on the other side of that is the green light to move forward. But you have to stop dabbling in the past. You have to stop going backwards. And you have to go forward. When that light turns green, you don't start reversing. You go forward. You shoot forward. And if you don't move fast enough, the people behind you that are trying to move forward, they start honking. And it's like, there's people that are ready to come behind you. There are people who are ready to wake up. There's people who are ready to actualize all these things. And it's just, maybe it's just not their role in this lifetime to be that leader. Leaders need followers to be leaders. If everybody was lead, there'd be no one to lead. So it's like, your role is to be a leader for a reason. So as long as you're looking around for followers to be leaders, you're tripping. You're out of alignment. So it's like, stop. Be honest. Remember that. And it's like, say no to everything that doesn't feel like high vibration, that doesn't feel like where you're headed and who you know yourself to be in the world you know yourself to live in. and your connection to it all, because you know, you've experienced the magic, you felt the magic, you've seen the proof when you've dabbled and you've trusted yourself and what that leads to. What else do you need to see? Nothing. So it's like, say no to everything that's not that and trust that it leads to everywhere you're going. And family, and it just feels like we are soul family. We are we are cut from the same cloth, you know? We're here as very much equals in all this. And it's like, all we need to do is trust, and trust each other, trust ourselves to continue to show up and do what we need to do, and trust that in that everything is unfolding as it needs to, and that tomorrow will be brighter because we made today bright, because we chose our light today. And it's like, remember, all this is physical, all this is results. So what you look around and see is more telling of where we've been than where we are and where we're going, you know? Because if I make a change right now, the results of that change will be seen tomorrow, will be seen next week, will be seen a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. But it's like, that doesn't make today's decision any less valid, you know? Just like where we are right now is a product of decisions I didn't make 2 years ago, decisions I did make a year ago, decisions I made 2 weeks ago, you know, all that. So it's like, make the decision now and trust it. And don't keep digging up the seeds to see if they sprouted yet. Continue to actualize this and continue to ground it in, and trust that months from now, years from now, all that, you will see that, wow, my whole life did change. And it didn't come from anywhere outside of me making that decision and sticking with it and continuing to move. And it's like, you've got your green light. Now all you have to do is trust it. But yeah, this energy feels very, very conclusive as the sun presents itself again. It's like, yeah, zoom out on the bottom. It's like, if you're struggling to see, zoom out. You're too close to it all. Because understand that you're connected to it all. You have connection to it all. You can see the big picture, maybe not with your physical eyes, but you can feel it. You can feel into the big picture. You can see it represented all around you. You can ask for signs and they will present themselves to you. And boom, president comes out, and it's like, you're at the top, man. As long as you continue to allow yourself to feel like you're at the mercy of all these things, you will never feel like, what's the word? You will never truly feel at home in your reality until you allow yourself to sit where you belong in it. Because you sit at the top, you sit at the very center of it all. And yeah, you are the center of your universe. So as long as you kind of allow all these other things to sit at the center, you will always feel off. You will always feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. You will always feel like something's missing, because it's like you're missing. You're not where you're supposed to be in relation to your experience, you know? You have to be at the center. And as you put yourself in the center, everything else will put you at the center, and you will become aligned to things that put you at the center, you know? You will attract in that relationship that's perfectly for you, to where all you have to do is show up as yourself. You will attract in that career path that's perfectly aligned to who you are, that puts you right at the center, and all that. But it's like, you have to do it first. You have to choose you first. Wow. And I thought this was a tree. Like, I picked it up thinking like it was a leaf or something, but it's a whole ass like screw. And it's like, be careful of the things that are portraying themselves as natural to you, that are portraying themselves as in your best interest, as things that are, you know, organic when they're not, you know. It's like, there's a lot of illusions out here, and a lot of it looks like, you know, like, oh wow, this is good for your soul, this is nourishing for your soul. You have to connect to it. And I'm being drawn to religion, and you know how a lot of it is seen like is caring about your soul and wanting you to, you know, it's caring about your purity and your salvation, when it's like, but at its root, it's really just control in a nice coat. It's really control and disempowerment and disillusionment and all that, just wrapped up in a nice package and then sold through fear and all that under the guise of love and unity and light and all that. But it's bullshit. And it's like, be careful. And if it doesn't feel right, and at the end of it, if it doesn't lead you back to yourself and it leads you to looking out into all this, then that's a grade A indicator that it's bullshit. Because all truth should lead you back to yourself. Because as it leads you back to yourself, it leads you back to everything else as well, because there is no separation. But if they're telling you not to look at yourself, to keep looking out, keep looking out, keep looking out, don't ask any questions, look at this, look at that, that's a grade A indicator that it's not true. It's not true truth. Because at the end of the day, all truth should lead you back to yourself. And then through that lead you back to everywhere else again, and then lead you back to yourself and lead you to everywhere else, because it's all connected, period. It should not ever stop out here and never have you looking at yourself. Like, there's no way. So, yeah, that being said, this feels very conclusive, but also feels very charged. Like, and it feels like it's supposed to. It's not supposed to feel like closure and like, okay, that was nice, and then shut down and then we move on. It feels like it's supposed to end with some charge, and then you shut this down and you kind of sit with it for a second, or you take it and you go create with it, or you go, and I'm saying zebra butterflies, and if you've been here a while, you know that zebra butterflies and me go way, way, way back to kid days, elementary days, and they always show up to me in a time of alignment, in a time of either alignment or a time where it's like I need a reminder to get back to basics and get back to the truth of who I am. But right now that feels like alignment. And like I said, this energy feels very charged, and it feels like it's supposed to. Like we're supposed to leave here with it and go work with it, or go sit with it, or go have a good day with it, go dance, go turn up, go do something that feels right. And then that will be in further resonance to the things that we're calling in for ourselves. So I'm going to let it end right there at the peak. And I remember I said peak by accident earlier, like not too long ago, as I was starting to wrap things up. So yeah, I love y'all so much. And I'm going to let us end right there on that high note. And make sure you do all the things, y'all. Like, subscribe, share, follow. Yeah, and just go create, man. If y'all haven't made your way over to the Patreon, definitely make your way there. More great stuff planned for this week and every week moving forward, every day moving forward. Yeah, the Patreon community is a community, and it's there for us to continue to do this work, to stay immersed in these energies, and to really be able to lean on each other, and to be able to continue to feed the energy and continue to ground in the energy and this reality that is so present and ready to become the reality in the entire collective as we continue to lead the charge and grounding it in. And you're absolutely welcome, Haley. I love you all so much. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what comes from here. And I'm just grateful. And thank you, baby. I missed you a lot, and you definitely held it down. The energy definitely feels completely different doing the reading, like when I find myself doing it in my room versus like here. Like I feel like the channel is super, super duper clear out here. And inside it feels like I'm still getting the clear channel, but it feels like it makes sense because, you know, there's the walls and the separation from me and nature and all that. So it feels like I'm pulling it through the walls rather here than it's like I'm sitting on the roots of the tree and it's like just pumping and it's just ever present. And even like ending it feels like, because it's just always more information. There's just always so much. So yeah, thank you so much. And I really, really appreciate you, Tree. And y'all send some thank yous for my baby as well. And yeah, do all the things. Meet me on Patreon, man. I'm gonna keep saying it until I see everybody there. There's so much there. And I know the more we pour into it, the more it'll pour back into us, and the more it grows. And yeah, we'll see all the energy. So like I said, it's still set up as a free trial for right now. So there's nothing to lose. You go on. It has the 1 tier, which is the rock tier. You subscribe to it and you get a full 7 days there. And yeah, that's enough time to experience everything that's already posted. And it's also enough to get a full week of things, because every Sunday there's the Sunday Shadows, collective reading and shadow work that we do. And if you're interested in that, that's available. Yesterday's is available because I held it on Twitch. So the VOD, the VOD is there, so you can check in with that. And yeah, just the Patreon. If you enjoy the time spent here, you'll definitely enjoy the Patreon, because it's just more of this energy, more content and things curated by me, things that I share that resonate with me, so I know they'll resonate with you, and just all that. It's just a nice way to stay immersed in it and to have the support of community in what's typically, you know, a lonely path. It's a journey to self, but it doesn't have to be lonely, you know. You can look around and see the support of other people who are doing the same work that we are. So yeah, I'll meet y'all over there, and I love you so much. And hell yeah, thank you, Haley, for sharing it. And you're so welcome, Dream. Thank you for continuing to show up here and be here week in, week out. and continue to sit in and sit through these highly charged energies. I know, like I said, I know it's always simple, but it's not easy. So you continue to show up here tells me just how special you are and just how connected we are. And yeah, like I said, we're cut from the same cloth and we're very much equals. I feel like I learn as much from you all as you guys learn from me. That you guys, your role in it all is just as important as mine. So yeah, I always humbly show up here and thank you so much every time. So hell yeah, definitely click that link and head over to the Patreon. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And at the very least, allow it to be a thank you from me for your continued support and showing up. And it's all offerings, honestly. And tap in with those journal with me's, tap in with the intuition practice, just all of it. It's just all for you. And I know that if you continue to show up and engage with it, evolution is inevitable. Unity is inevitable. Magic is inevitable. Miracles are inevitable. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the energy while it's still hot. And I'll see y'all later, man. I love y'all so much and I'll see y'all soon. But I'm Mark and this has been Monday Magic. And hey, together, the magic is here and the love is so potent. And yeah, the magic is always present, whether we like to admit it or not, whether we engage with it or not and allow it to exist or not, it's here. So all we can do is tap in with it or not, but it's the reality of the situation. So yeah, you know what's real and what's not. So all you can do is choose now and continue to choose. So, and I trust that you'll make the right choices and that the choices have already been made. So yeah, I'll see y'all on the other side. Yeah, Mark out. I love y'all so much. Peace. Bye, gang.